Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and here's a video I never thought I'd be doing. Nowhere in a million years did I think I'd be sitting here saying that St Helens are the world champions of rugby league. Yes, they defeated the Penrith Panthers. Yes, it's a huge upset. I know Penrith weren't playing with their full-strength side. Plus, they've lost a lot of players in general, but they also didn't have Dylan Edwards, Liam Martin, a few players like that. Definitely were a little under strength, but these guys came back early. They trained early. They trained with full intentions to win this, and I don't know if they came out and they thought it was just going to be a cakewalk. I thought it was going to be a cakewalk for them. I think everybody in Australia thought St Helens were going to lose by at least 50. Like, I literally remember having a chat last week. Phil Gould did a tweet. I remember doing, just chatting and being like, Penrith should at least put like 40 or 50 on them. Just with how they've been playing the last couple of years. No, I know they've lost a couple of players here and there, but they've been so dominant in the NRL, and for them to come out and look as bad as what they did, St Helens absolutely incredible, but not good signs for Panthers going into 2023. Obviously, you've just won back-to-back, so I don't think Panthers fans would be too concerned. And like I said, they have lost a couple of players. Biggest one, in my opinion, based off last night, was Api Coruscant. Definitely missed him. I got to say, like, Nathan Cleary kind of looked like the Nathan Cleary of old. Jerome Luai looked like the Jerome Luai of old. And when I say of old, I mean before Coruscant was there. So before Coruscant came to the club, or came back to the club, I should say, they weren't doing that well. And then he comes in, and obviously they end up making it to the grand final. And every year he's been there, they've made the grand final or they've won the grand final. He leaves, and they sort of go back to looking kind of similar to what they did. I know the biggest argument is going to be, yeah, well, Mitch Kenny started the grand final last year, so what actually changes? What changes is Mitch Kenny isn't now he is the main guy, right? There was no Sonny Luke on the bench, and even then, we're like putting all our faith in a guy who's never really even played first grade. Compared to Api Coruscant, who you can argue is the best hooker in the whole comp. So definitely a downgrade and a half. The back rowers, look, I wouldn't be too concerned. Sorensen was another one who didn't play. They had Hosking and they had Garner. I think Garner was someone who we thought was going to come across and be this fantastic signing. I think he might be a decent little bench guy. I think Sorensen and Martin are your back rowers. But yeah, definitely not good signs for the Panthers. Crichton, another one, looked... Bulldog supporter, how do I word this? Definitely left a lot to be desired as a fullback is probably the best way to put it. But at the same time, I can't really think of anybody except for maybe Leniu and maybe like Fisher Harris, who I thought looked half decent for the Panthers. And yet they still nearly won it. I got to say, they still nearly won it. Played absolute dog shit, but they still nearly won it. But St Helens, they were fantastic. Like, I've been talking about Penrith because obviously I'm in Australia. Penrith, the team I watch week in, week out. And they've won the last couple of comps, and they've been so dominant. And I'm a Bulldog supporter. We're basically watching, probably our future side. You know what I mean? We just signed all the Penrith players, but yeah, St Helens' defense was incredible. For a side that has scored at will, St Helens just kept turning up. They kept turning up, and when I say score at will, I mean Penrith. They've been so easy. Like, I saw last night, there was times when Brian Toyer would get the ball, and normally I feel like he would just barge his way over. I know the conditions were absolutely dreadful as well. That probably does play a part in this, and the fact that it was the first game for a lot of these guys. But a lot of times they get to a guy like Brian To'o, and he just barges his way over. Or like, it literally was like that. Or Taylor May, they just barged their way over. St Helens were coming across and just shoving them over the sideline. Anytime there was a little half break, St Helens would rock up. They'd make a tackle. I thought Belsby was very, very good. I thought he was their best player. Definitely looks like a guy who would cut it in the NRL. It's funny sitting here saying that the Super League won, and yet we're talking about NRL still being the peak. It is what it is. We all know it's a fact. You all know Penrith were definitely off last night. St Helens already started their season. They've been playing. This is Penrith, a lot of the guys' first game. So I've got to keep that in mind in terms of like an actual comparison. But St Helens, fantastic. You saw how much it meant to them, and I think that's probably what it came down to, just what it meant to these sides. For the Panthers, I think they thought they were going to go out there, and if we play half decent, we'll put a score on them, and things would go smoothly. Didn't happen. St Helens came out here with a point to prove, even down to last week. When I watched the trial game they played against the Dragons, the Saints versus Saints, you can see James Roby, absolute legend of the game, by the way. Shame he didn't come out to the NRL. He was always someone who you knew had the talent to come out here, and just never did. Like we saw when Josh Hodgson came out, he wasn't even sort of in contention, I'm pretty sure, when he's in the Super League as being like half decent. Comes out to the NRL, ends up as like top 3 hooker at the time. James Roby, imagine if he had actually come out there. But you could see he was revving up the fellas in the sheds and talking to them like this was a grand final, this was a state of origin game, this was something important. Whereas like Panthers, I feel like they were kind of like, hey, like, you know, we'll play some of our second stringers, you know, we'll, you know, blow the cobwebs out a little bit, and, you know, sure enough, we'll still win. And it just wasn't going that way. And when it got to 12-0, I thought, oh, St Helens are really going to go on with it here. Obviously, it didn't really happen. Penrith ended up sort of getting back into the game, but no point did I ever really feel like Panthers were going to win it until they scored right at the end. Crichton launched up the bomb, sort of a bit of a Hail Mary. How he ended up with the ball, I'm not exactly sure. This is what I mean, where Jerome Luai was an absolute passenger last night, and Nathan Cleary wasn't much better. They were just launching up bombs willy-nilly, but how Crichton ends up with the ball, last tackle with a minute to go, launches up the most perfect bomb you can ask for, and they end up going over and scoring. Nathan Cleary kicks the goal, does the cringy celebration of ice in the veins, and then proceeds to lose the game. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like Penrith went from being an underdog side to now being very, very unlikable, and a lot of it's down to the players, a lot of it's down to their social media, just even some of the fans getting quite cocky over a couple of years of success. But I got to say, it was somewhat nice to see them lose. I mean, do we want to say they embarrassed the NRL? Yes. But at the same time, they did go back-to-back, so I can't talk too much smack about them. And plus, my Bulldogs are signing all of their players anyway. So, yeah, once again, can't talk too much smack about them. But, yeah, look, I know that hopefully this isn't disrespectful to St Helens, because I haven't really talked about you guys too much. Obviously, fantastic. The halves, very, very good. The kicking game from, I don't know if it was Lomax or if it was Dodd, or both of them. Obviously, Dodd kicked the field goal. But the kicking game, like when Panthers were putting them under pressure and they were going nowhere, can't remember which one it was. One of them absolutely launched that ball. Absolutely launched it. And it just shows you how valuable a kicking game can be. And I think it's something that's not exactly valued in the NRL as much. Obviously, we're seeing with Matty Burton, even Cleary does the torpedoes as well. We've seen like a torpedo bomb is something that's quite useful, but having someone who can just launch the ball when you're in trouble, it just shows how valuable it is at times, because it definitely got St Helens out of trouble. And yeah, look, I'll just touch on the end. A lot of it's going to be talked about Stephen Crichton dropping the ball, and that's how they ended up with possession. He got absolutely crunched, man. Like, I guarantee 9 times out of 10 the player's dropping that ball. That was just a perfect tackle, essentially. I know a lot of things going to be said about, oh, you're a Bulldog supporter, you're defending Crichton. Nah, man, like, I've seen some of the best players drop those balls. Just the timing of it at that moment in Golden Point, crazy that it actually happened. But yeah, credit to St Helens. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to be sitting here making this video. I didn't even think I was going to make a video. That's why I didn't even do a Rugby League Live 4 video or anything, because I was like, World Club Challenge, does anybody really care? No, we care now, because Penrith lost, so there we go. Guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. I'm rambling a little bit now, but hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did happen to enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure you use the notification bell. Don't rely on that sub box. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and chuck me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook's Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, probably the ones I'm most active on is Snapchat and Instagram. Go ahead, give me a follow, give me an ad. And yeah, stay tuned for more content on the channel. Plenty of stuff to talk about. Penrith lost. How good's that? See you for the next one. Bye.